And welcome back to my tutorial series for Crusader Kings 2. Um, in advance, I'd like to say thank you for all that watched my previous videos. I know they were a little bit unstructured and just was rambling on. I'm trying to get better at this. If you have any uh, comments or advice, just post in the comments below. I read everything and try to answer everything if there is a question. Um, yeah, I got positive feedback from some guys I play Mountain Blade with, who tried to get into this game and couldn't, and yeah, I will continue now. So last time we basically covered the various options on the left side regarding your policies. I intend to finish the UI this in this episode and go over the map modes that we have. After that, I will get more into game specifics. So, we're starting on the top. This is, I would call it the attention bar. These are things that requires your attention. It actually helps. It's very important to have a basic overview of what's going on in your little empire, and this helps. So for different things, symbols pop up. In this case, the first symbol is we have no heir of our dynasty. Um, Everything can be dismissed by right-clicking. So basically, if you have, like me, my heir is the emperor. I have no heir of my dynasty. This will show up. The next one tells us that we will lose titles on succession. In this case, it's because I have no heir of my dynasty, but it can have different reasons. For example, if you have two duke titles and you have Gavelkind succession, then and you have two sons or two legitimate heirs, maybe two daughters, whatever. Your titles will be split. One will get the one duchy, the other will get the other. It's very important. It will tell you every time you will lose a title once you die, or basically your dynasty will lose a title once you die. The next one is that I can create two titles. About the creation of titles. So, counties are not created. You either own them or you don't. Everything above that is basically kind of a land-based titular title. So you have to create it. You have to declare yourself as, in this example, the Duke of Brunswick. So how do you create titles? If I click here, I can create the Duchy of Brunswick. Well, I could if I would have the money for it. I don't have that at the moment, at the start of the game. But it tells you what you need to create certain titles. So we need control of 50% of the de jure counties of the duchy. I will go into this a little bit later in the map mode, where we can actually display what counties are de jure part of which duchy, and which duchies are de jure parts of which kingdoms, and which kingdoms are de jure parts of what empires, and so on. In this case, I own 5 of the 6 counties of the Duchy of Brunswick. Only the county of Braunschweig, which is basically Brunswick in German, is not in my under my de facto rule. So, creating a duchy title will gain you 200 prestige and will cost you gold. That varies from duchy to duchy, and I think there are some other factors in it, but it's basically around 160 to 200, something like that. Kingdom titles give you more prestige, but cost more money, around like 360, 380, something around that. one major difference, there's a special kingdom title. The Kingdom of Jerusalem gives you, I think, don't hold me to my exact words, I'm not quite sure, I have to check, something around 5,000 prestige and 2,000 piety, because, yeah, well, it's the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Yeah, you can actually click the de jure, click the little rectangle here, and it will show you every county in part of the de jure and in which realm it is. It will also line it out here beautifully on the map. So this is the de jure Duchy of Brunswick. As you can see, we own almost everything of it. You can also see that the Duchy of Brunswick is de jure part of the Kingdom of Germany and part of the Holy Roman Empire. The Kingdom of Germany is part of the de jure of the Holy Roman Empire. You can click the history and see that there was no Duke of Brunswick before, and you can see who holds it now and how much money he makes out of it. Yeah, that's for creating titles. The next one is that the ruler is unmarried. It will also give you a symbol if your heir is unmarried. Yeah, sometimes you can't solve the heir unmarried if your heir is independent or under a different ruler or has his own county and stuff. The next one is a marker to pick an ambition. Ambitions are picked here in the option in the window for your ruler. You can click here and it will give you options for your ruler. In this case, if you just start out, it's get married. I think I clicked that one the last time as well, but I didn't save, so yeah. The next thing is you can press de jure ducal claims. This is a mechanic that allows you, if you own a duke title, in my case I'm the Duke of Saxony, and there are counties that are de jure parts of Saxony, but not de facto part of the Duchy of Saxony. You can press claims for them. I will talk about the thing about claims in a later episode as well, because claims are basically what makes and breaks this game. You need to handle claims of your vassals and stuff like that. Yeah, that's for the... And I get a text message on my fucking smartphone. Sorry about that. These are basically the symbols. There are some more, like vassals are unhappy with you using their levy and stuff like that. Yeah. This is that, I think. So let's move on to the top right. In the top right, the first thing is there's the current date. We're on the 15th of September 1066, and the game is paused. Here you can make the game go faster or slower. You can also use the plus and minus buttons on your keyboard. Here we have the amount of wealth you have. With gold you can enhance your provinces, create titles. You also need gold for some events. Prestige is basically a resource to measure your standing inside the feudal era. So the higher the prestige, the more other rulers like you, and yeah, how you compare to other rulers, basically. So here you can see you gain prestige for holding counties, holding duchies, and have vassals. There are also some traits that give prestige. Proud, for an example. Yeah. Piety is basically how the church views you, the church view on you. So piety measures things like, you can see I'm lustful, so it gives me 0.25 a month for it, because Lustful is not a trait that church characters like, the Pope in particular. There most as there are some things that give some traits that give piety. Humble, for example, is a trait that gives piety. Yeah. Here is the domain size. Domain sizes. So at current moment, I own 4 counties, and I can own 11. That is without taking any penalty hits. You can actually own as much as you like. You won't be able to play though, because for each county you have over your limit. Your vassals gain -10 opinion. Plus you gain a malus on tax income and levy size and stuff like that. So basically what you want to do is, for the most part of the game, be under your maximum domain size. Yeah, there's actually a difference in playstyle as well, but I will go into that in a later episode. How is your domain size calculated? So you have a base size of 1. Every ruler can have at least 1 county. Then you have your rank. In this case, I'm a duke, so ×3. A count gets ×2, I guess, and a king ×4. I don't think an emperor gains any more than that, but I haven't played as an emperor much, so I like the small starts, actually. Then your stewardship chips in. In this case, I think +5 is the max you can get. I'm not sure on that, so don't count me on that, but I have a high stewardship of 23, so yeah, I gain +5 from that. And then your succession counts as well. Gavelkind gives you a bonus, Primogenitor gives you a malus, and some other give various bonuses and maluses as well. Legalism is a technology level that if it increases your domain size. If you remember, I clicked to focus on legalism when I set up my technologies. The next one is the realm size, basically. Realm size of 29 means that in my de facto duchy, all the lands I possess and my vassals possess, we have 29 baronies. And then there's a breakdown. I personally own 4 and 29 in total. The Count of Oldenburg, Count Eglimar of Oldenburg, owns 1 county himself and has a total of 3 baronies that he oversees. So he has basically 2 vassals. Down to the barons who have 1 barony and 1... well, they don't have vassals, basically. The last one is your score. What is score? Score is actually how this game is... well, I don't give much thought to the score. Score is basically meant to... if you don't make up your own goals, it's like how at the end of the game it's decided who wins. You gain score by dying. So every time you die, the accumulated prestige and piety will get to your score. So every time a ruler dies, everything gets to the score, and at the end of the game, the dynasty with the biggest score wins the whole damn thing. I'm not giving much attention to it. I'm just playing with my own goals, make my own goals, and try to have fun. Here we have the message system: high priority, low priority. High priority could be something like a vassal of you died. I think that's in the high priority. Can I? Yeah, I can't show you some right now. But major things that you should take note of. And low priority message could be someone did something in your court or whatever. It's not that. I often don't read low priority message. Just click them all away. Underneath here, that's the standard view. You can pop out a small window which gives you some basic information. If you played Europa Universalis 3, you would probably not watch this video if you had, but it gives you, in this case, overview over my domain, and I can... oh, no, that's not what I wanted. raise levy real quick. It gives you an overview of armies. Battles will be shown here. Provinces you siege, provinces you of you that are besieged, buildings you build and where, and you can click on that. It will get to where you are. It's neat. I almost always you can configure it. I can show you my court and what they do. There's our message routes, humans in multiplayer, disabled alerts, and stuff like that. You can customize it if you like. So let's now get to the bulk of the interface, which is actually the map where you play in, and the map on the bottom right, and the map modes. So this is a standard map. It's called Terrain. You can see here it's rather beautiful compared to other Paradox games. It actually has 3D graphics of the cities here that should represent the cities. Yeah, but it also has a function. So basically, if you're in this map mode and you hover over a county, on the bottom right it says, for example, the name, which is also showed on the map, who's the owner of this province and to which domain it belongs. So as you can see, also it says the terrain, and the terrain is important for combat. For example, you have plains, forests. There are traits for commanders that modify combat depending on which terrain it is that happens. And also, I think in the mountains it says, if a combat takes place here, the defender will get a defensive bonus. So mountains and hills give those, I guess. Maybe swamps as well, but something like that. So yeah, basically that is terrain. Also, crossing rivers. For example, if you attack an army in Sticht and you attack from Holland, you cross the river to go there, and it gives you a penalty. But I think it says, if you click on the province and you have a symbol here with the river, and you go over it, it says from that in this case, if you attack from Holland or Breda, the attacking army will get a penalty. Stuff like that. But yeah, let's check out what are counties. Let's check out a county first, before we go over all the different map types. So the whole map is split in provinces. That's the smallest scale of separation visible in the map. Let's take Ostfriesland as an example. This is a province. It shows you here what is part of the province. But a province is not the smallest unit there is. There are baronies. Every province consists of X amount of baronies. In this case, we have 3 baronies. One of which is the capital. In this case, Norden, which is the capital of the county of Ostfriesland, the barony of Norden. Norden is a castle, so it's a feudal barony. The castle is held by Duke Andrei of Saxony, so by us. Here it shows the coat of arms of the county of Ostfriesland. It shows who the duke is, or who the next higher holder of the province is, so of the county is. So in this case, it's the Duke of Saxony, the Duchy of Saxony, and in which realm it is situated. In this case, the Holy Roman Empire. Underneath the barony picture, it shows the garrison, which is basically, what it says. It's the garrison in the barony. It can't be raised to fight, and the levy. It can be raised to. So if I raise the levy in Norden, it will give me 228 soldiers. And you can see it's 60 light, 150 heavy, 15 light cavalry, and 3 galleys. Underneath the capital, we have the county information. Uh, it's actually a part of the de jure kingdom of Frisia. And it says that there is no current king of Frisia, and it's also a part of the de jure duchy of Gelre. So it's not actually part of the duchy of Saxony de jure, but only de facto. De jure and de facto. It's I will go into it in 10 minutes tops when we go over the different map modes. It says that the culture in Ostfriesland is German and the religion is Catholic. It can supply 30,000 soldiers. What that means is if you put a army in this county, it will not lose any men to attrition unless you put more than 30,000 men in it. This will not be important in the early parts of the game, maybe later. Because in this part of the game there may be 2, 3, I think 4 entities or 4 empires, 4 independent realms that could raise that many men. Revolt risk is at 0%. This is basically can be varying from time to time depending on who the overall ruler is. If he's another culture, another religion, the populace won't like that. Some other effects that characters can make, like you can send in your chancellor to increase the revolt risk, or you can send in your marshal to decrease the revolt risk, and so on. Here there's the total county tax. You can see here, so you can see Norden pays all his taxes to me directly because it's my personal domain, and you have Aurich, which is the city, who makes 13.42 a year, but only pays 1.41 to me. That's because of the laws. It only has to pay a certain amount of tax. You now may think, where is the third county, the bishop of Borkum? I will go into that in a second. Why it's not shown here. Then we have the technology level in this county. So technology. Every technology has to be invented or brought to every county. So if I, as the Duke of Saxony, get a technological breakthrough in Lüneburg, it is not available in Ostfriesland. It has to spread to there. So once one county invents something or discovers something, it will slowly spread to the other counties by giving them a bonus to discovering it. It says I have military advances 5, economy 5, and culture 4. Here I can raise the local levies and the local fleets. If you have to squash a minor rebellion and you don't want to raise all your levies. So on the bottom there are the baronies that are underneath the capital barony. In this case we have 2 more baronies. We have a city, the city of Aurich, and we have the bishopric of Borkum. You can see here that they are part of the Holy Roman Empire. There are cases where the baronies under a county capital are part of another realm, actually, through inheritance, through some other stuff in military, which I will probably explain much later date when I come into combat. So you can click on the city and you can build in this city for your vassals. These are, as you can see, this is my coat of arms. It shows everything I hold will get shown with this coat of arms. These are not personally held by me. They have their own coat of arms. You can click on it to see who holds it. In this case it's Adolf von Aurich. and how much money he makes and stuff like that. You can also see that he hates me. Same for the bishopric. Now, bishoprics have another mechanic. As I said with the taxes, they don't show up here in the taxes. Bishops only pay to you if they like you more than they like the Pope. In this case, Almerich hates my guts. Well, not really. He has an opinion of 11, which is, okay, kind of positive. But if you check here in the religion tab, you can actually see every religious ruler under you. And you can see that Bishop Almerich here has an opinion of 58 to the Pope, so he pays to the Pope. As you can see here, right? Okay, that's for that. So every county is a little different. In the case of Osnabrück, Osnabrück is a church-run county, so he has the capital is Osnabrück is a church, and you have the barony of Tecklenburg as a castle underneath it, and so on. So, also, you have the build new holding position or option. This is also county dependent how much baronies you can build. It also may change in the course of the game. In this case, I can build one new holding. What you should know is if you ever gain a province that has like room for 3 baronies under the capital, but only has the capital already built in it, so there are 3 little empty windows. You cannot build, like if you have a castle as a capital, build castle, 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 or city, city, city. You have to have a castle, a city, and a church, and then you can build whatever the hell you want. Let me check here. Bremen, for example, can build 2 more. I can now could build here through 2 castles. Also, this one is currently not part of my de facto land. It's part of the Duchy of Brandenburg, which is a neighbor of myself. I think it's. I'm not quite sure how this happened in the. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the mic in the past, but I think that the family, the dynasty that now rules Brandenburg, originates from this barony of Stade, but I'm not sure. So that's a county, and as I said, 2 or more counties form a duchy, 2 or more duchies form a kingdom, 2 or more kingdoms form an empire, and so on. But now let's go into the map modes. So this is a terrain map mode. It's rather beautiful, but not that functional if you play the game. The next one is the independent realms. It shows you basically the independent realms. So we have an overview over the Holy Roman Empire. You can see one color is one realm, or France next to this, Brittany, England. As you can see, it shows every county in Ireland and the Duchy of Munster because they are all independent. I usually play in this map mode. It gives you a good overview which county you may like to have in your domain is under which independent ruler. Then we have the diplomatic relations. Everything in green is my domain. The lighter green are my personal holdings, while the darker green are holdings by my vassals. Everything in yellow is who you can declare war against. Basically, I have a casus belli against everything in yellow. As you can see, the Muslim world is completely yellow because I have the Holy War casus belli. But I will not go into the casus belli thing too deep now. It's basically it means you need a claim. As I explained, you need a claim to declare war on someone, and everything in yellow I have some kind of claim against. Then we have the religious map mode. It sorts the map after the uh, county religion. That's important point. So as you can see, all the white is Catholic. And here you can see there are some provinces who are white, but are striped with green. This means that, for example, the county of... I will rape this. Cuenca. Is that... No. The county of Cuenca is basically majority Catholic, but their ruler, the green stripes, is a Muslim. In this case, it's a Sunni Muslim. Yeah, Sunni and Shiite are quite hard to difference. And then you can see there are some other religions like Zoroastrians, Tengri. Orthodox are this brownish. Rumova is a pagan religion. Easy. Suomennusko. Yeah. Suomi is Finland in Finnish, so something Finnish. Norse religion, Odin, Thor, all this pretty neat stuff. It helps you you can if you have counties with different religions, you can easily find them. If you like to convert them, and as a Catholic ruler, you want to convert them. Cultures. Cultures are basically, well, what type of culture lives there. And cultures differ to various degrees. So some may say that German and Dutch are not that much apart, and stuff. But yeah. So basically, you have like German here, Dutch there, and it also says gives county culture. So as you can see here, the general populace in what is today the Netherlands is Dutch, but they are ruled, grey stripes, by German rulers. As it should be. I didn't say that. I love you, Dutch. Okay. So, you can actually see that to the east of my provinces, the populace is Pomeranian, West Slavic kind of culture and stuff. Yeah, that's good. Then we have direct vassals. Direct vassals breaks down the independence and shows you who owns what. In this case, you can see the holdings of my dukedom clearly. You can see that the county of Braunschweig, which should be mine, to be quite honest, is part of Lower Lorraine, which is quite powerful in the beginning, and Upper Lorraine. We have Meissen, and so on. And you can see, for example, the powerhouses in the early game, Aquitaine or Tuscany in yellow here. So it's neat to look at who actually owns what counties in your empire you're playing. So I'm playing in the Holy Roman Empire, so I can see that basically the county of Altmark is held by the Duke of Brandenburg. Let me get a drink real quick. Yeah, holding a monologue. Yeah, next map is the economy map. Basically gives you a graphical indicator what provinces are rich and which are not. As you can see, Genoa, Venice, very rich, Constantinople, rich, Alexandria, rich, one of the richest areas in the game is Mesopotamia, and this random province in Khiva. And yeah, basically the higher north you go and south, Ghana, Ethiopia, the less money you will make. As you can see in our domain in this game, it's brownish and some red, so actually we have a very poor kind of region. So let's now get to the funny part, or the important part of the map. De jure duchies. De jure duchies is... let's explain de jure and de facto. I think I did it a little bit earlier. De jure duchies, or de jure domain, is what counties should be in what duchy. So, traditionally, let's take Saxony, because we're the Duke of Saxons. Traditionally, the counties of Anhalt, Plauen and Weimar should form the Duchy of Saxony. Right? Here. De facto, that may vary. So, traditionally, this should be the Duchy of Saxony. If we look de facto, let's go to direct vassals, we can see that I am the Duke of Saxony, but I actually own none of the territory. So, basically, the de jure counties of the Duchy of Saxony are in the hands of the Duke of Brandenburg and the Duke of Meissen, not the Duke of Saxony. If we go back, you can see that my lands are actually forming. If we check my lands, I know my counties, so it might be easier for me to follow. But you can also see the outlining of my territory. So I have basically almost all of the de jure Duchy of Brunswick, 2 counties of the de jure Duchy of Holstein in German, Holstein, I think you would say, 1 part of the Duchy of Gelre, and 2 parts of the Duchy of Köln. Why is this important? If you're playing as a duke, as a count, let's take Ireland for example. Ireland is a good example. Let's say you started as the Count of Ulster, right? You want to, that's the part of the game, you want to get higher in rank. So after Count comes a Duke. You want to be the Duke of Ulster. For other, it's not a part of you declaring I'm the Duke of Ulster. You can do that basically whenever you want, but nobody will take it seriously unless you have, in this game, certain conditions. So for other rulers to acknowledge you as a Duke of Ulster, you have to take certain parts of the de jure of Ulster to form the de facto Duchy of Ulster. So basically, if you, as the Count of Ulster, take the county of Oriel, then you have 50% of the de jure of Ulster, and you pay a certain amount, and you can declare yourself the Duke of Ulster. That will not give you control of the other 2 parts, other 2 counties of Ulster, but you get a claim on them, because others view you as the rightful owner, or the rightful Duke of Ulster. I hope I explained that correctly, or so that you could understand it easily. If you have any questions about de jure and de facto, just post a comment. I will try to answer it a little better, if I can. So, what does this mean for my ruler? Basically, I have, as I said, 3 ducal claims. So I could just, in the beginning of the game, before I start time, declare war on Brandenburg for Anhalt. Rightfully so, because this county should be part of my domain, not his. Because I'm the de facto ruler of Saxony. No, the de jure ruler of Saxony. He is the de facto ruler of Anhalt, part of Saxony. That's right, okay. Anyway, let's move on. De jure kingdoms. Every duchy is part of a kingdom. In this case, I'm the Duke of Saxony, and the 3 Saxon counties are part of the Kingdom of Pomerania. And the Kingdom of Pomerania is a little special case. Pomerania cannot be created by... let's rephrase it. Can only be created by a ruler of Pomeranian culture, West Slavic Pomeranian, and of a pagan religion. I think it's, Romuvo, whatever it's called. Romova? remover, right? So to create the Kingdom of Pomerania, I would need to culture switch and religion switch, which is hard to do. The Kingdom of Germany, on the other hand, can be created. So are the kingdoms of Lotharingia and Frisia and stuff. How do you create a kingdom? You need, again, 50% of the de jure parts of the kingdom, plus you need to personally hold 2 dukedom titles inside the de jure of the kingdom. And then you can proclaim yourself king of whatever. Again, you will not get all the counties inside it. You will just get claims on them. Yeah. There are many kingdoms you could create. Bulgaria, Wallachia. Some are already created, like Georgia and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the de jure kingdom, and then you have the de jure empires. So at least 2 kingdoms form the form empires. The Holy Roman Empire actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kingdoms. Yep, 6 kingdoms inside its de jure. And yeah, we have some Paradox made more empires creatable than there were actually. You could make a case for Britannia being an empire level, but the Great Britain was not formed until much later. Hispania is it's not really historical, but I don't care. It's fine. Arabian Persian Empire can only be formed by Muslims. Russia can only be formed if you have like Russian culture. I think every empire has some kind of culture restriction. And yeah, that's it. The next part is revolt risk. The darker, the higher the revolt risk. As you can see, I only have revolt risk in Hamburg. Isolated county? Interesting. Yeah, whatever. Never seen it. Dynasties gives you... It's basically a independent ruler map. No, not an independent ruler map. It's basically a dynasty map. So, as you can see, all the Russian dukes, if you go into the independent ruler map, you can see there are many dukedoms in the Russian lands are held by one dynasty, which is the Rurikovich. You can see that the Holy Roman Empire is held by the Salian, or the Capids in France, and the of Godwin in England, but not for long. And you have the opinion map, gives you color-coded overview of how people like you. As you can see, I like myself very much. The Count of Oldenburg not so much. Yeah. That's the map. You can click it away, but I almost always have it here. Then you have a message log. You can see what happened when. The main menu. Ledger gives you some information. It's possible inheritance gives you like an overview. So if the Count Eglimar of Oldenburg dies now, I will gain it, or in what position you are for some titles. All the wars that are happening right now. Independent states gives you some information. How much gold do they have? Norway is the fucking richest. Prestige, piety, score, army size. You can see no one can actually raise the 30,000 I talked about earlier. You have an overview of my court. 4 of them are actually rulers of a barony. I think that might be some... Yeah, they're councillors. So you can see if they're courtiers just hanging around your court, partying. Or if they actually do work for you. all my vessels in the realm. That are the 29 minus 4, 25 guys, I think. My direct vessels who are directly underneath me, so no barons under my counts. My dynasty, which is Lonely Me, Forever Alone. A character overview, that's all characters, you can sort them better with the characters menu. Religions, it gives an overview of religions, about the authority of the religion, and how many counties are actually following them. Aztec is in here because the new DLC deals with like the Aztec invasion. I don't have it because I don't like fantasy stuff in my historical game. My realm levies, you can sort by what barony gives you the most levies. The four on the top are mine, personally, and the below that are my vassals who hate me, so they don't give me anything. My realm is empty because I haven't started the game, and my domain. Our claimants is actually pretty important. Here you can see which claims inside your domain, including all your vassals. Let me start that again. Inside your, you can see who inside your realm has what claims. So you can press claims for your vassals. If he's landed and the claim title is beneath yours, so basically if another count in my domain has a claim for another county, I can press it for him, conquer that county, he will gain that county, but he will remain a vassal under me. So I will actually increase my domain by pressing claims of my vassals. So this is basically a very important overview. Had to take a drink again. And my titles, so I'm the Duke of Saxony, and you can see there are 4 claimants to my title, which are 2 random courtiers of the Billung family and a baroness and a countess. And that's it. For this, go to home province, moves you to the capital province. You can also click the button here. Find title helps you to like find the only you type only the county name, which is Palermo. I can zoom then to the city of Palermo or stuff like that. Yeah, you can zoom in, zoom out. You can also use your mouse wheel, which is what I do. Yeah, that's it for the map and the UI. Again, if you have any questions about the first 3 videos, you can post here, comment, rate, like, subscribe if you like. I will continue in the next couple of days with some actual gameplay. But before we do, I just show you that I know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched, any of my other Let's Play videos, I'll show you a little. I played this character, I couldn't help it, and done some work. So I show you something around, math don't fail me, 38 years after game start. So I think that's it. That's Saxony in 1104. I actually played a little bit later, but did not much happened. So let's move right in. I'll show you what went down. So I actually died pretty fast. Only like 8 years in. Is that him? Yes. So my son took over. He was not that great. And yeah, I expanded actually, as you can see. I have my new retinue there, but yeah, I expanded. I took Meissen out. I took Brandenburg out. I took Braunschweig, and I think, yeah, that's like in the year 1104. So that's for 38 years, as I said. And yeah, I'll explain you how you can do that as well. What you should do if the game starts and how you play. How you be successful and different strategies for different situations. And we will do it by actually playing. And I will play very slowly and tell you what I do and why I do it every time I do something. But yeah, I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and bye.